Have you ever felt like you're drowning? Not in water, but in your own mind? When your brain just keeps repeating the same questions. What if that happens? Am I doing it wrong? Why can't I stop thinking about it? I've spent sleepless nights just replaying a conversation from earlier. That day, I'd go over every word I said like I could rewrite the past. My thoughts spun so much, I forgot whether I was living in the present or in some imagined future inside my head. I used to think I was just being thorough, but really, I was addicted to control. And the more I tried to control, the less peace I had. Until one day, I came across a quote by Marcus Aurelius. "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." That was the beginning of my journey to reclaim inner peace through a 2,000-year-old philosophy, Stoicism. In today's video, I'll share with you 8 Stoic truths that helped me heal from overthinking. And maybe they'll change how you live with your own mind too. Have you ever felt like you were drowning? Not in water, but in your own mind? When your thoughts just won't stop circling. What if that happens? Am I doing it wrong? Why can't I just stop thinking? I've had sleepless nights just replaying a conversation from earlier in the day, rehearsing every word like I could somehow rewrite the past. I worried so much, I forgot if I was even living in the present or just trapped in some imagined future. I used to think I was just someone who thinks deeply, but in reality, I was addicted to control. And the more I tried to control things, the more I lost my peace. Then I read a line from Marcus Aurelius. "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." That was the moment my journey began. The journey of healing overthinking with an ancient philosophy, Stoicism. In this video, I'm going to share with you 8 Stoic truths that helped me break the cycle of overthinking. And maybe they'll help you change your relationship with your mind too. You don't always have to stop thinking. Sometimes you just need to learn how to stand outside your thoughts and smile at them. And that's the first thing the Stoics taught me. Overthinking isn't thinking. It's a symptom of fear. 1. Overthinking isn't thinking. It's a symptom of fear. I used to think I was being cautious, but really I was just afraid of failing, being judged, or not being in control. Overthinking wears the mask of careful planning, but it's often just avoidance. Marcus Aurelius said, "If you're distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it. And this you have the power to revoke at any moment." A friend of mine, Sam, a brilliant designer, was once given a major project, but instead of being excited, he couldn't sleep. What if they don't like my style? What if I mess up the files? He spent 80% of his energy worrying and only 20% creating. He missed the deadline, not because he wasn't good enough, but because fear took over his mental bandwidth. The lesson? Overthinking doesn't make you smarter. It just disconnects you from the only place where action is possible, the present moment. 2. You are not your thoughts. You are the observer. I once sat in a cafe watching the rain outside. I had just sent an apology email for a small mistake at work, but in my mind, it was a disaster. They'll never trust me again. Am I going to get fired? I sat there for 2 hours, untouched tea cooling in front of me, lost in self-judgment. Then I remembered, you have power over your mind, not outside events. The Stoics remind us, you are not your thoughts. You are the observer of them. Thoughts are like cars on a street. You can watch them go by. You don't have to get in. My friend Lily, a musician, used to panic before every live performance, until she learned to meditate not to silence thoughts, but to sit with them. When a fear came, she'd simply say, "Ah, I'm having a fear thought." No judgment, just observation. And slowly, that practice gave her freedom from their grip. Lesson: peace doesn't come from having fewer thoughts. It comes from not being ruled by them. The illusion of control and the peace of surrender. I once arrived at the airport 3 hours early, fully prepped. But then, the flight was delayed. Again and again. I sat there, watching the screen flicker, falling into the spiral. What if I miss the event? What should I do? Why can't things go to plan? And then Epictetus whispered from history, "Some things are up to us, and some are not." Stoicism teaches us the dichotomy of control. You control your thoughts, actions, and choices, not the outcomes, opinions, or weather. I once worked at a startup. We gave everything: marketing, support, product. But the economy shifted. We failed, and I blamed myself. Until I read Marcus again. You were made by nature for virtue, not success. Lesson: peace comes not from controlling everything, but from letting go of what was never yours to hold. 4. Thinking without action is just anxiety in disguise. I once spent a whole week writing a single email to apply for a job I dreamed of. I kept opening the draft, writing one line, deleting it again. I told myself I was polishing, but really, I was scared of rejection. Marcus Aurelius said, "What stands in the way becomes the way." Stoicism reminds us, thought without action is just refined fear. My friend James built an app and a perfect pitch deck, but never called an investor. Not because he lacked preparation, but because he feared stepping in. The fix? Ask, what's the smallest action I can take today? And do it. Send, call, write, move. Confidence comes not from certainty, but from motion. 5. Discomfort isn't the enemy, it's the entrance to clarity. One winter morning in New York, I stepped into a freezing cold shower. The first 10 seconds were brutal. My body tensed, my mind screamed. But then, stillness. I didn't escape the discomfort. I stood inside it, and I survived. The Stoics called this voluntary discomfort, not to suffer, but to train your mind before chaos arrives. Cato walked barefoot in public. Why? To practice dignity under judgment. Lesson: growth doesn't happen in comfort. It happens when you lean into discomfort with open eyes. Discomfort shows you, what are you afraid of? Where are you still fragile? And what can you learn by staying? It's not the enemy. It's the entrance to wisdom. 6. Gratitude as a Stoic discipline. I used to think gratitude was a feeling, until I lost a job, abruptly, no warning, no reason. That night I wrote, I still have my health, I still have time, I still have myself. The Stoics practiced gratitude not to feel good, but to ground their minds in what is. My nurse friend Anna wrote 3 things each day, even during COVID: a patient who recovered, a hug from a colleague, the sound of rain after a night shift. Lesson: gratitude isn't denial. It's noticing what's true, even when life isn't easy. Write 3 things every day. Not because everything is perfect, but because not everything is broken. 7. Memento mori and the death of overthinking. You could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do, say, and think. Marcus Aurelius. Memento mori. Remember you will die. Not to scare you, but to wake you up. Overthinking often comes from acting like we'll live forever. I'll apply later. I'll say sorry tomorrow. But what if there is no tomorrow? A friend once told me, don't live another day like you're immortal. 2 weeks later, he died unexpectedly. That sentence became sacred. Lesson: when you face death, overthinking dies. You start living. Say the words, send the message, do the thing, because this moment is the only one that's real. 8. Borrow courage from others. I once froze during a high-pressure project, paralyzed by self-doubt. I almost gave up, until I admitted, I don't think I can do this alone. And that was the moment I began healing. Seneca said, consult your friend on everything, even about yourself. We get lost in our thoughts because we stay alone with them. My friend Daniel had social anxiety so bad he'd prep for meetings for days. One day, he opened up to me. I said, I've been there too. We didn't fix anything, but the shame lifted, and that was enough. Lesson: strength doesn't always come from inside. Sometimes you borrow it from someone who sees you clearly. You don't have to solve everything alone. Sometimes you just need a witness. You've just walked through 8 Stoic truths that can transform how you think and how you live. Not to become someone else, but to return to yourself. Clearer, calmer, stronger. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. If this video resonated with you, leave a thought in the comments or share your favorite Stoic quote. And if you're walking this journey toward peace in a noisy world, hit subscribe and let's keep walking together.